Hi, just a follow-up to the microcurrent video on my main channel, which I'll link in down below if you haven't seen it, just showing an additional fix here for those who may have an existing unit with the 321 marked op-amp in there, 321T or S, or maybe some other letter variant in there, and if you have an issue with a capacitive load, there is an additional fix which I've tried here, and let me show you. I've put 0.1 microfarad ceramic bypass caps to either side of C2 there, so which is basically across the battery. So each supply rail to the virtual ground there. And a few people commented on this in the main video and said, well, that seems to be the obvious solution. And my recollection from when I designed this way back at the start is this actually did cause stability problems, but maybe that was with the 1 Maxim variant and not the microcurrent gold with the 2 Maxim variants. I don't know. I don't think I have my notes from that anymore, but this one in this particular case seems to work, but it's not a given that it would actually work bypassing the virtual ground, which is the negative output terminal here, to both supply rails, because then what you're doing is effectively adding that capacitance via the 270 ohm resistor in there. There it is, the 270 ohm resistor. Sorry about the crudity of this video, didn't have time to build it to scale or to paint it. Even though you've got the 270 ohm series output cap, that doesn't magically isolate you from any capacitive load. But what it will do is actually shift the pole so that I won't go into poles and op amps and response and all that sort of jazz. That's a whole video or two in its own right. But it doesn't magically fix that. Putting in that series resistor, which is in there, doesn't magically fix that. So adding these capacitors on effectively the output of the op amp via that 270 ohm resistor to the virtual ground, to the two different rails, positive and negative like that, is actually adding capacitance to the output, and that's generally not a good thing to actually do. But in this case, I have tested it, and it does seem to work just a treat. So let me demonstrate here. So I've actually got two boards modded. One has the good, in quote marks, TI part, the RC1F chip, and this one has the troublesome 321T or 321S part on it. So let me try. So what I'm doing is, well, actually, here we go. It did oscillate before. Trust me, you'll have to trust me on that. Here it is. So this has got the 321 marked chip in it, and that's just hunky-dory. Don't worry about those that when I switch I'm just switching the input load there. But yeah, you can see there's no problems whatsoever. And if well, hang on, yes, I've got the capacitance up. Yep, hang on. Which way around does this go? Hang on, sorry. If I turn on the capacitive load, yes, it works fine. It seems to work fine with almost any capacitive load that I can give it, and it basically works identical to the RC1F chip. So that seems to be additional fix, but let's just feed in a signal, shall we, and see if we can check the response of this. So this is, don't worry about all that noise, because I've now not shorted the input, and I've got it on the nanoamp range, and it's just picking up anything. So once we plug in our signal, we'll be hunky-dory. Oh, we're way off scale here. Let me put it in. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we're good. Don't touch it. All right, so that's 100 kilohertz with no capacitive load. So there we go, 100 kilohertz, no capacitive load. And if I whack on some additional capacitive load, of course, we're going to change our response. So what we want to do is get like worst case overshoot, like something shocking like that, right? Which should, you know, like when you get worst case like that, you should expect to start seeing oscillate or potentially oscillate, but it doesn't. So what I'll do is so that's the response we get with, what do we got? I think a couple of, no, one N load. We've got 1 nanofarad load on there, and of course, if we, at that sort of frequency, if we put any higher capacitance on there, it just kills that because of the capacitive reactance. So let's put that on our board with the TI part, and let's give that a whirl. There we go. It's basically the same response. There you go. So there's the no capacitive load. So it's good right up until, well, let's go 300 kilohertz. What's the, I think 300 kilohertz is the bandwidth where it starts to drop off on the microcurrent, isn't it? Something like that. Yeah, you can see it the response start to drop off. Actually, that's 700 kilohertz. That's 700 kilohertz there. So that's a megahertz. So that's with the TI part and no capacitive load. Let's put back the part. Yep, there we go. So that's all good. So that looks hunky-dory, even with a worst case capacitive load. But now, so that is a fix for a potential fix for those who don't want to, or who A, have a problem with this op-amp oscillating, and B, don't want to change the chip, and, well, they don't want to go and order a chip or whatever, couldn't be bothered. You can, looks like you can use a 0.1 mic ceramic bypass to the positive and negative rail. But as I said, that's not a guaranteed, well, in theory, it's not a guaranteed fix, and kind of is not necessarily a good thing to do, adding the capacitive load directly on the output of the op-amp, even though it is via a series resistor. And I recall my testing way back in the day, we're talking many years ago now, is that I was seeing oscillation. I can't remember what parts I was using in what, I can't remember, but I remember that being a problem, which is why I didn't add the bypass caps to the virtual ground, because I found that A, I didn't need them, and B, it could potentially cause some sort of issue. But in this particular case, it seems to have fixed it. So there you go. That is an additional fix for those who have a problem and want to do it. Once again, it could probably do further testing, but setting the worst case capacitance on the output, that's always a decent way to do it. Look, our gain's gone right up because it's just, woo, overshooting severely there now. And if it doesn't oscillate in that sort of, worst case configuration like that, then you can be sure that's a pretty solid fix, unless you want to go in there and, sweep it with your network analyzer and do the whole bells and whistles. But yeah, that looks good. There you go. Thanks. Catch you next time.